on my way, on my way, on my way.
Hey guys, here it is. It's Mark and Chuck, and this is the River Valley Railroad. And a lot of really cool stuff has happened in the last 2 or 3 days. The main thing is Mark now has every turnout installed. All the track is powered. All the sidings are powered. They're painted. And the railroad is operational again after a long time of not really being able to run trains. And there's some other stuff, and I'm sure Mark will film segments and put this all together. But just to let you know that it's Mark and I, we're both here. Mark's the guy that does all the work since I went back driving over the road, since I went back to work. So we've come up with some town names, a couple of industry names, and we've got some things that are just set out to kind of give you more of a feel of how the railroad will eventually be when we start adding the scenery stuff to it. And Mark will do some videos showing the different angles of the railroad. But what's really great is Mark has been running our cleaner train, and he's going to do a video of that, or add that to this video, one way or the other. And he's been going in and out of Helix, and other than just one little minor hiccup over here that after all the crawling around, he didn't feel like going over there and driving the track now in today. I mean, what is it, like 4 hours? 5 hours we've been in here, and you've been running trains. I've worked the upper level yard, I've worked the lower level yard, I set out stuff at sidings.
Not just the yard, he's also been working on the industries too.
Well, yeah, I set out, stuff at the industry, so it's just been a really fun day of running trains. So that's this part, and if you want to add something to this before you do the other segment stuff.
Well, I mean, if you want to go over some of the names, we can, since it's right in the view at this time. You
Okay.
can go over some of the changes. I'm sitting in what is on your old railroad and what will be on this railroad as Calico River,
Yeah, right
which
there.
is right behind me. This town, I believe we decided on today, temporary, if this changes, it might, was Ashwood that we named this. And then we're going to have like a freight exchange plant over here. That'll be like Black Diamond cold storage. We have a mine that's directly behind Chuck right there, which you saw in the previous video. But now we have a mock-up to go with it.
And this isn't the mine building we're going to use. We're going to use a Craftsman kit here. This is the...
As you can see here, this is where the stock pins will go in the future. The ravine that is directly by this, we've decided to call that Clayton Ravine as of now. A little nod to Back to the Future 3. That goes into Clayton Junction right here, which is just on the outside of Ashwood. This is where there's a total of 4 switching industries here. We haven't quite decided exactly what all these will be, with the exception of the stock pens. Then is leaking plumbing off of Chuck's old railroad. We're thinking that might be a scrap yard in the future. I'm not sure exactly what these two would be, but this has actually turned out to be a really unique, interesting switching area that is quite diverse. Here we are going into the other side of the Ashwood Yard. This is the interchange with the main roads in the area. And down all this track is also down to the Black Diamond cold storage. This will serve as an icing facility for refrigerated cars that are non-mechanically driven, and also as a freight exchange interchange for smaller places that are going to be loading materials onto freight cars that do not necessarily have their own dedicated siding. Materials that get trucked in, stored, and then loaded into box cars or refrigerated cars as time permits. Behind there will be basically city facades showing that the city is much larger. Here's our track cleaning train. I believe that's a CMX brass tank car that is currently filled with 100% acetone. Every box car, including the caboose behind it, has one of the Woodland Scenics, I believe they're called monkey wipers, and they're basically scrubbing the track. It works out very well, and we need to run it more often, but it does do its job extremely well, but it does require a lot of motive power.